Good morning. This is the fourth episode of The Rant. I haven't done one in a while. I know that Jack and Jill Politics is switching platforms, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to do one again. But I figured, what the hey, I'd give the format one more shot on my way, on our way out the door. Here is what we're talking about today, because there are a lot of topics. We're going to talk about Attorney General Harris out in California and the president commenting on her attractiveness. Here, in just my general impression, we have several different things going on. Some good, some bad, some indifferent. The president riffs when he introduces people. I've heard him do it. I've heard him do it in every state, in every speech. He talks junk. He's got swagger. And the problem with swagger and the problem with thinking you're funny is that sometimes you put your foot in your mouth. The president has been adroit at not putting his foot in his mouth. And so when it happens, when he makes a classic blunder, the reverberations are always much louder than if another president had done something like this. Barack Obama is so good at this that people assume he'll never make a mistake, and that is a bad assumption. And this was a mistake. Now, I'm not sure how serious a mistake it will end up being. People have told me that this means he cannot pick Attorney General Harris for the Supreme Court because people will always question why he picked her. I don't go that far, but I will also say this is more complicated than it appears on the surface. Here's why. There are a couple of different things going on, competing things going on. One is he is friends with Attorney General Harris. He's known her for years. He considers her a friend. He feels very comfortable with her, and he talked a little junk. He said publicly what a room full of men probably said privately, and that too is a problem. But the larger problem, as I see it, is that the fact that he thought it was okay to say means there were no women in that room. The room that was prepping him, the room that was writing for him, the room that was setting up this event. There were no senior staff women present. Because if there had been a senior staff woman present, when he said, yeah, I want to say she's the best looking attorney general, ever, someone would have said, whoa, 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 whoa. No, you can't say that. If Valerie Jarrett had been there, she would have said, no, 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 no. It means that he doesn't have enough women around him to answer these kinds of questions. Now, I'm not reporting that. I don't have a source. I'm not, basing that on, I have a list of who was in the room. I'm not basing it on that. What I'm basing it on is common sense. When a company comes out with an offensive, racially stereotyped ad, you know that there was never a black person in the room. When people come out and say crazy stuff about rape, you know that their senior staff was not women. When people come out and do crazy immigration language, calling people illegals, and saying, why are you offended by that? You did break the law. You know that they don't have any Hispanic people or Asian people or people who are from an immigrant population on their staff. You just know it. As a black man in America, what I realize clearly is a lot of decisions get made without a black person in the room. And what I find troubling about the Attorney General Harris gaffe, and a gaffe is when you say something that is true but should not be said. What I find troubling about the Attorney General gaffe is it indicates to me in the strongest possible terms that there was not a woman present or a woman senior enough to step in present. And we have to do better. We're Democrats. I expect true diversity up and down the line. That doesn't mean all white men and one black person. That doesn't mean all white men and one woman. It means true diversity of ideas, of background, of economic standing, of education. Everyone can't have gone to Harvard. I want some state school people in there too. I want some people who, have lived a little different life in there as well. So that to me is the problem with the Attorney General Harris gaffe. The president appreciates, loves, and respects women. I do not think that he is a sexist, or rather, I do not think he is more sexist than any man. It is a sort of knee-jerk, paternalistic, we feel when we see an attractive woman comfortable commenting on it as guys. The president needs to be better than that, and I think his senior staff let him down. I think his writing staff let him down. I think his staff let him down. Because someone should have caught that and said, well, that's just my opinion. But it is a story. It is not going away. And women, and this is just a generalized statement, not a specific statement about every woman in the country, because I've not obviously talked to every woman in the country, but women are pissed. The women in my life, the women that I know, professionally, personally, they are pissed. And it's not going away. Peace. Follow me on Twitter, JCW Politics.